It's the third try.
Take 3. I've been being tested all morning.
I'm not even going into this, but she's getting an African lion skull because she spent 6 months in Africa when she was in college. And that's just the gist of it, and that's what you guys are getting because we've already had this conversation, and I know everything about it now.
So you said Senegal. I've never met anybody that's been there aside from the man who inspired me to be a tattoo artist over 20 years ago.
Oh, that's right.
His name was Chef Bay Chika. He was a giant man from Senegal, Africa, and he spoke French.
Yes.
I remember one day there was some really pretty French girls, and he goes, "Go get me 2 fresh towels." And he went to the table, and when he speak Joe, what is the Joe? He's like, but when he spoke French, it was like sexy. And he went there,
very sexy,
and he just his whole energy changed. And I was like, what did you just tell those ladies? He's like, pretty much clean up for later in French. And, but.
What?
Yeah. So I was a food runner. And so he's the executive chef for the Harley Davidson Cafe out here where I met my first wife, who paid for my apprenticeship, who supported me. But as I was dating her, we just worked there. And one morning I was always early, like, if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. And I got there early, and he's like, "Joe, sit down with me." And we sat in the booth, and he's like, "You're a very special boy." And I started to smile. He goes, "You're my favorite." And I smiled with, like, cockiness. He goes, "No, I didn't say you're the best because you talk too much, and you're always up front with the girls. What is Joe? What is Joe? Oh, at the fucking hooker stand with the girls." That's how I found my first wife, at the hostess stand. And he said, he goes, "If you had all the money in the world, what would you do with your life?" And I smiled. And I was like 20 years old, about to turn 21 soon. And he's like, don't answer me now. Don't be smart ass. Don't be smart ass on the beach with the joint and the girl. He goes, really think about it. And like
his accents are horrible.
A couple weeks later, that's how he talked. I'm pretty good at that one. That's how he spoke.
I can hear it.
Yes, with the joint. What is that? And about 2 weeks later, it's at the end of the rush. I was like, I know what I want to be: a WWF superstar or a tattoo artist. He's like, you can do it. He goes, you think I drove that Range Rover from being chef? He goes, yes, we make good money, but he owned a lot of land in Senegal, Africa, and he was a big soccer player.
Oh, yeah, the soccer's huge there.
And so it's because of you, Chef Bay, and I've been meaning to find you and thank you because you helped me follow my dreams. That's something, because my first wife, she made good money and didn't want me to work, so I used to just hang out at the tattoo shop, and now it's stuck. Would you call it sloughing off?
Sloughing off.
Slough off the stencil.
Get your head out of the way.
But we decided on the lion skull to represent where she was in an African animal, but I do these life and death, the skull and nature and mushrooms. You can't. All the trees would not survive without all the mushrooms and fungus underneath. Have you guys seen the mushroom documentary on Netflix?
So cool.
So good.
Yeah.
Right? About how it all communicates.
It's amazing.
And I kind of talk about why I eat healthy. It's basically the same thing. Your gut is communicating with you. The gut is communicating with your brain. It's kind of like underneath the tree, right? And
yeah.
That's just my...
Well, and she lives in Oregon, so it's kind of combining Oregon. That's the place of a million and mushrooms.
Yeah,
yes.
And I was up in
everywhere.
that men's circle up in the Oregon coast.
All right, guys.
It looked like the Shire.
He's going to talk forever.
All the
Stay tuned.
They like our talks.